can't lie, lately I've been feeling so lazy. I've still been able to get some work done, but it's been a proper struggle. Everyone's always talking about the grind and how you need to do this and do that, but nobody talks about how some days even the most basic things feel like a struggle. So yeah, today, even though I feel like rotting in my bed all day, I'm going to show you how I navigate through this. Okay, so I've been trying to get out of a little rut that I've been in, probably say the past couple weeks, to be fair, yeah. And it feels like getting any sort of work done is just a lot harder than it normally is. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still getting work done, I'm still creating content, still shooting videos, but it's just feeling like a little bit harder. Ideas are a little harder to come about as well. And yeah, usually it's not like this, so I'm just trying to get myself into like a mental headspace where I'm actually able to create freely the way that I was before. And obviously I'm gonna take you guys through that as well. Don't mind the way that my room is looking right now, because you know we're gonna sort it out right now. As you know, sometimes when you hit a rut, it can actually manifest itself into like your environment as well, and the chaos that you've got going on in your mind, it kind of sort of reflects on your reality as well. But yeah, step number one is to obviously clean up your space. Now, it's very important that you don't underestimate the value of cleaning your space, because a chaotic environment will lead to a chaotic mind as well. So yeah, keep that in mind. I'm gonna declutter my space so that I can declutter my mind as well. But yeah, let's get started. You know what, yeah, one thing about me, sometimes when it comes to like cleaning and stuff, like I might sometimes put it off a little bit, but the thing is when I actually get started, I actually kind of enjoy it. Like I feel like it's almost therapeutic. Like it does make you feel better as you're cleaning and you can see your environment's getting cleaner. It kind of boosts your mood a little bit. That's why this is like the first place that I always like to start. Like whenever I hit like a rut or anything, I just make sure, you know what, let me just clean my space a little bit. And normally, even though like that can sometimes like take a little bit of energy out of you, like physically, in terms of like your mental state, it can actually give it like a little boost as well. But yeah, today we've actually got a lot of things to get through. So I'm gonna try and do this as quickly as I can, because I've got 3 videos, well, including this one, that I need to be shooting today. So yeah, I thought I'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I would clean up the space and vlog it, record it as well. So yeah. Okay, so it's already starting to look a lot better than it did before. You can see I've already cleaned up this corner of my room. I always like to start with this corner because, I don't know, like the door's there, and like when you open the door, it's the first thing that you see when you come into the room. So I feel like, yeah, like that part always just needs to look nice and neat, if you get what I mean. Nice and neat, yeah, not eat. But yeah, like it doesn't always have to necessarily be like cleaning up your whole house, or like your whole room. Sometimes you can just like clean up like a little corner. And what that does is it has like a domino effect, because obviously you've cleaned up like a section of your space or your room, your corner, whatever it is, and that kind of translates into your life as well, because you know your brain perceives it and it's like you've now completed this task. And it's not just like any task, it's like something that is good for you. You've just completed it and it makes you feel good about yourself, which obviously in turn it gives you like a little motivation to go and do what you need to do. And sometimes that's literally all you need, like when you're in a rut, like you just need that tiny bit of motivation to just get you up and going again, which obviously leads us into the next part of actually getting ourselves out of a rut and into a more productive routine, which is actually starting. And that's like the most difficult part when it comes to getting yourself out of a rut, because you've probably spent like a couple of days, I don't know, rotting in bed, watching TV shows, doing whatever, feeling lazy, and it feels very comfortable. So changing yourself from that environment, it can be quite hard. And the first step is always the hardest, because you've got a big enemy to be competing with as well, which is procrastination. Like procrastination will have you like on the low, like it will keep you there. It'll make you think, you know what, today I'm not feeling it, but tomorrow I'll feel it. And you're gonna be doing that for the next, I don't know, 7 days, 14 days, however many days. You're just gonna keep procrastinating and putting everything off. However, there is a solution for this that will make things a lot easier. When I say make it easier on yourself, I mean do something that will give you a tiny bit of motivation to actually get you started and give you some momentum. For example, for me today, that was cleaning my room, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that for everybody, because obviously not everyone would feel like this is something that would give them a boost. Some people might say, oh, this is just gonna make me feel even worse or make me procrastinate even more about cleaning my room, blah. It doesn't have to be that. There's been times where, let's say, I don't know, I'm craving like burgers or something. Like, I'm not gonna go and order a burger. However, I might say to myself, do you know what? Tomorrow morning, when I wake up, I'm gonna go and get some breakfast buns, some meat and stuff, just various ingredients that I need. And I'll come back home and then I'll make myself like a burger. And obviously being able to complete that first easy task gives me the momentum to now start and then move on to other things that I need to do as well. So yeah, it's literally all about just giving yourself like little victories, like just complete an easy task. Like do something simple that you know you can do, that you know you can achieve, that won't necessarily take so much energy out of you. And wake up in the morning and do that thing first. That first victory that you get is so valuable. Like it's gonna have a domino effect on the rest of your day as well. So yeah, if you don't believe me, try it out. Like next time you're in like a rut or anything like that, just go and do something easy, complete it, get that easy win, and then you'll see how you feel for the rest of the day. Like you're gonna be able to move on to the things that are a little bit harder, that take a little bit more energy. Like I said, sometimes all you need is literally that tiny push, and then you can get yourself going again. Now, the third thing that you need to do is also very important. To be fair, they're all very important. Like I might say they're all as equally as important as each other. But yeah, number 3 is you need to balance consumption with creation. In this age of like social media and stuff, more time, if you're in a rut, you're probably scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, YouTube shorts, or like any sort of short form content. You're probably just on your phone, doom scrolling all day. Now, there wouldn't be necessarily anything wrong with that if there was like a balance between you scrolling all day and you actually creating, actually having some output. So basically, in the simplest way to put it, you need to balance having input and having output as well. So yeah, to put this into the practical world, if you're gonna spend the next 30 minutes scrolling, then you gotta spend the next 15 minutes creating. And obviously, not everybody's a content creator, but it doesn't mean that you can't create. Creating isn't always just about creating content to put it out there or creating stuff for other people to see. Sometimes you can create stuff for yourself. And that's where like journaling and stuff comes in. I know a lot of people say that journaling is good and everybody goes on about how you should journal and blah, 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 blah. And it sounds like a cliche, but I'll be honest, journaling is actually a game changer. Now, I've got a journaling book I use, which is this one. And in this book, I don't necessarily always write down like how my day went and stuff like that. Obviously, you're more than welcome to do that, but I sort of use this as a way to keep track of my goals. So I've got like my main goals written down on here on the first page, and then after that, each day I write down a goal that I'm going to work towards. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm doing something big. Like a goal could literally be, do you know what, today I'm gonna record 3 videos, and what I do is I write that down, and by the end of the day I tick it if I've achieved those goals. And that's the thing, like it feels good as well when I'm like going through at the end of the day and I'm just like ticking all the goals that I've achieved. Like that's like motivation for me to actually work on the stuff that I said I would, so that at the end of the day I can actually feel good about myself when I'm actually just ticking and ticking and ticking. Or if you're a content creator, like that time that you spent scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, you could actually use it to find some inspiration. Like you can also write down inspiration that you found from scrolling. But obviously that doesn't necessarily work for everybody. The way that I do that is I don't necessarily write it down on that book. I sort of put it on my iPhone notes. Like whenever I find any sort of inspiration, I literally just whip out my iPhone and then I just type it into my notes. And for me, that's something that's worked. Like you don't necessarily have to take everything so rigidly. Like take it in, absorb it, but kind of mold it in a way that works best for yourself, because obviously everybody's different, everyone works in different ways, so you're not going to be able to use the same blueprint that everybody uses. So yeah, just be smart about it. And yeah, that leads us on to tip number 4, which is that you need to be making sure that you're planning ahead. And what I mean by that is basically don't give your mind the opportunity to get distracted and to just wander around. That normally happens when you haven't necessarily planned out what you're gonna do on that day and your mind just sort of wanders and thinks, oh, like what should I do today? And then, you know, you whip out your phone, before you know it, you're just scrolling around, you're not sure what you're gonna do today. And it's all just chaotic. However, when you plan ahead, even if let's say you're whipping out your phone, you know in your mind that, like, you know, better get up in the next 15 minutes because I've got X and Y to do. And if I don't get up now, I might not have enough time, or blah, 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 blah. You get the point. So planning ahead is very important. Like it's also a way to keep yourself accountable. Like for me, it's worked because, like I said, I know I've got something I've got to do, and it's at the back of my head. Like I know, today I need to record 2 videos. Like if I don't get up now and start working on it, start scripting, start shooting, I'm not gonna have enough time. So yeah, I would say like plan it the night before. Like once, you know, you get your journal out, if you do journal, and you've ticked out all the goals that you've achieved for that day, now write down the ones that you're gonna work on tomorrow. So yeah, you literally don't wanna give your mind any opportunities to find distractions. You wanna give your mind goals and focus. And that's literally how you stay locked in. Because you know what, yeah, when you don't necessarily have a plan as to what you're gonna do on the day, you don't really have any way of keeping track of your progress or keeping track of your work or your work rate. Like sometimes you can literally get distracted by little things. You might take like a phone call, you might be doing this and that, you might jump on the game for a bit, and before you know it, it's like, right, like so much time has passed, but you don't necessarily know how much time that you've wasted. But obviously when you've got clear goals set out, if you waste time, you kind of realize that, yo, like I didn't have time to do X and Y because I wasted it doing C and B. So yeah, man, it's literally all about staying focused and not losing sight of your goals. But yeah, now we move on to tip number 5, which is also very, very, very important. The thing about hitting a rut is that it can be triggered by like many things. Sometimes it can be burnout, you know, you've pushed yourself too hard and now you've got no energy in the tank. Sometimes it can be because you were expecting something and you didn't get it, so now you've lost all motivation. Failure can actually be the reason why you get in a rut. So it's very important that you're actually preparing for failure. And that's tip number 5, which is to make sure that you prepare for failure. Now, the way that you can do this is by writing down 3 ways in which you can actually fail. Like literally, that's all you gotta do. Just write them down and then write down solutions for all of those possibilities. So for example, so yeah, I don't know, let's say my goal is to get 1,000 views on my next video. There isn't really a guarantee that that's gonna happen. So what I need to do is to make sure that I plan for failure as well, just to make sure that maybe when I don't get the 1K views, I don't get hit so hard that it then leads me to wanting to give up or leads me to feeling burnt out or just getting back into a rut. The way that I would do this is maybe I'd write down, oh, I don't get 1,000 views. And the solution for that would be I go on my analytics and I see where things are going wrong. If maybe it's my click-through rate, then obviously I'll work on the thumbnail and the title and I'll change them. Or if maybe it's the audience retention that wasn't good enough, same thing, I'll go into my analytics, I just check and see where people started sort of swiping off, blah, 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 and then I improve on that. And that has real benefits as well, especially for creators, because sometimes we can have like a sense of entitlement. Like, you know, sometimes I feel like, oh, like my video should have got more views than that, blah, 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 but there's nothing that says it should have got more views than that. If it didn't, it's probably because people didn't watch it or people didn't click it. And that's the thing, we've got no right to demand people's time and say, oh, like people should have watched it, blah, blah, blah. Like if they didn't want to watch it, then maybe we should work on ourselves and make better content so that next time they will want to watch it. And obviously what that does is over the months, over the weeks, over the years, you go from here to here. And that can literally be applied to anything, any field that you're in. It doesn't have to be content creation. You can literally apply it to anything. Not only that, but it ends up making you a lot more resilient as well. Like I feel like sometimes as people, like we rely too much on the results. Like if the results are great, then we're also great. We keep working, we keep pushing on. However, when the results aren't so great, then we're a lot more likely to kind of fall off or give up. And it's like, rah, like everybody expects that the work that they do to produce rewards for them at all times. And obviously that's great thinking. Like it's great to want rewards for your hard work, but it's not always the case. Like that's not always going to happen. And if you think like that, when it doesn't happen, it can actually be very devastating, because it's like, yo, I'm doing all this work, I'm doing this, that, but I'm getting nothing out of it. So do you know what? I ain't doing it anymore. And that's the wrong mentality to have. Like if in your mind you work it out that, you know what, not seeing results straight away is fine. Like I'm okay with putting in a lot of work and not necessarily getting anything out of it right now. Like I'm okay with that. Like if you just work that out, then trust me, like you'll be all right. Like you're not in any trouble. But if you don't, then what I would say is you're probably always at risk of falling off, because it could be the next failure. Like failure is always around the corner. Like the next failure could hit you and then boom. So yeah. And then we've got the last tip, which is making sure that you keep a track of all the distractions that you get on a daily basis. So for example, the way that you would do this is, I don't know, let's say today you get distracted by something. Just make sure that you actually write it down, because you're definitely going to forget if you don't write it down. So yeah, make sure that you write it down so that you know that, oh, today this almost distracted me. Whether it was, like, you know, you went on Instagram and then you just started scrolling for the next 30 minutes and then you realized, oh, like, you know, I'm supposed to be doing X and Y, but I've just spent the next 30 minutes just doom scrolling. Because obviously it can happen, but yeah, just write it down. And better yet, identify it before you actually give into it. So for example, let's say you get the urge to go on social media and scroll, stop yourself in that moment and then write it down, like, oh, I almost went on social media and scrolled, blah, blah, blah. And as you're doing this as well, practice saying no to at least 3 distractions a day. So for example, as I mentioned with the social media scrolling, like when you stop yourself, that's you saying no to it basically. And that's your 1 a day that you've done. And obviously you need to practice saying no 3 times a day. I don't know, it could be, one of your boys says, you know, let's jump on the game. And you know that you've got work to do. You know that you got to do X and Y. Now it's your time to practice saying no. And trust me, like once you start saying no to distractions, like it's gonna give you so much satisfaction. Like there's nothing better than the feeling of doing something that you don't necessarily want to do in that moment, but you know it's going to be rewarding, against doing something in that moment that you know you're going to enjoy doing, but it's not necessarily going to have any value for you in the future. So yeah, delay that gratification, because it's gonna pay off in the future. But yeah, man, sometimes coming out of a rut is literally just about falling back into reliable habits that you know will actually get you going again and allow you to find some momentum again. And that's literally what it did for me today. Like right now, I've now got the energy, the motivation, and I literally just want to shoot off and then go and shoot the videos that I need to shoot. And I'm literally almost done with cleaning my room as well. Like my desk, it's not perfect, but it's a lot cleaner. This section of the room is a lot cleaner as well. But yeah, I'm literally gonna hoover and then that's literally the room done. And then I can move on to what I need to do for the rest of the day. But yeah, thank you very much for watching the video up until this point. If you enjoyed it or if you found some value in this video, then you already know what to do. Like, comment if you've got something to say, and obviously subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.